What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another good game reviews. Uh, this is the next day, actually. This is Monday. Not the day of the game, but better late than never. Um, Doing a game review for the Week 12 matchup, Cowboys at Patriots. Final score 9-13. Patriots win. Um, yeah. Um, Once again, pretty slow game. Pretty uh, defensive matchup. Not a lot of points scored in this game. Not a lot of touchdowns. But let's just go ahead and get into the good. Um, Tom Brady, as far as the passing game goes, I wouldn't even categorize this as good. He had a uh, pretty mediocre performance. Other than the touchdown to N'Keal Harry, which was, phenomenal. But other than that, pretty, kind of slow day for him. Now, granted, he didn't have Mohamed Sanu. He didn't have Philip Dorsett. Uh, and this Cowboys defense is, it's still pretty good. So hopefully with those pieces coming back, hopefully for next week, that should, that should improve a little bit. But, I mean, yeah, other than the one touchdown, Brady didn't have any interceptions. So that's something you can lean on. Um, he didn't lose the game. Rushing game, I have to give Sony Michel some credit. It's been a while since I've got to shout out Sony Michel. He's had a pretty down just overall season, but this game he did pretty well. 20 touches, 85 yards, average 4.3 on the ground. So a way better improvement from last week coming into this week. Had a long 17. You could tell like early on in the game, he when he first got out there that this was going to be a totally different look than what we've seen in the past two matchups that he's had, that being the Eagles and before the bye week against the Ravens. He looked pretty good on the ground, and I attribute that mostly to the Patriots getting Isaiah Wynn back. I knew that as many fans knew that would make a difference in the running game. Excuse me, not just the passing game. So yeah, having him back definitely, you could definitely see some changes in that, and I believe they'll only get better moving forward. It's unfortunate that you don't have like a fullback like James Devlin to make it even easier, but you got to work with what you got. So yeah, as far as receiving goes, once again, you have your pretty much every week performance from Julian Edelman. He's the top receiver. He's the guy who's getting the most targets. He's the guy who's getting the most yards. He had 12 targets, 8 receptions, 93 yards. He averaged 11.6. He didn't get a touchdown in this game, but his presence was definitely felt. He's been on a roll. I believe he has currently 806 receiving yards total. So he's definitely on the march for that for another 1,000 yard season. Hopefully he can get to that. Um, as far as Jacoby Myers goes, he has been an absolute steal. I am glad that he's getting some more playing time. Unfortunately, it had to come with injuries of him getting that playing time, but he's getting the playing time regardless, and he is making the most of it. He had 9 targets, 4 receptions, and 74 yards. He averaged 18.5. He could have actually had a few more yards if it wasn't for the drop pass, but he did take a pretty big hit when he tried to bring the ball in, and it looked like the ball was going to fall out of his hands anyway. He probably could have made a second effort, but the defender just made a really good play on that play. So overall, Jacoby Myers still had a pretty decent game. And last, as far as receiving goes, N'Keal Harry. Now, this doesn't really have anything to do with receptions or receiving yards. This has more to do with the fact that N'Keal Harry was able to get the touchdown on the day. Um, He got the only touchdown of the game, and it was a very, very good catch. He had to do the spin just to, block the defender out. He stretches his hands out, spins around, gets the two toes down before he falls out. Uh, just a really good catch. Had a chance to get another one. Ball goes through his hands, um, and just like looking at everything they were able to do overall, a lot of rain, a lot of wind. So kudos to him, even like being able to contort his body like that and make the grab and the toe taps and everything. It was very entertaining to watch. And I was pretty hyped seeing him get his first touchdown of his career. So that's receiving. Let's go ahead and move on to defense. Kind of speeding through this. Uh, um, I got three guys that I want to shout out as far as the defense goes. You got, first of all, Jamie Collins, who is obviously the best player on defense. Besides, I mean, if you're not including Stephon Gilmore, I would probably put Stephon Gilmore on top, and then I'll put Jamie Collins like right under that. But he's like right under that. He had 10 total tackles in this game, had 5 assists, and he forced a fumble. So I mean, like I said in these predictions, Jamie Collins just goes out and continues to make plays each and every week. No matter what the end result is, just look to him to make a play. He's gonna find some way to make a play. Um, Lawrence Guy, I have to give him a shout out. These past two performances, he's found ways just to just swim through the line. Like it just looks like he just swims through the line to try to get the tackle. Had 8 total tackles, 5 assists. He didn't have any like turnovers. He didn't have any sacks. He didn't have any forced fumbles, anything like that. But it's just his ability to just get through that line and get those tackles for loss. You got to appreciate that kind of drive that a player brings when when you're looking at the defensive side of the ball. Um, we all we have to the only thing we can do is look forward to him being able to improve on that and hopefully not get some more sacks on his belt. But just the tackles for loss, you got to appreciate something like that. Um, Stephon Gilmore. Mm. Like I said, if it wasn't for this guy, Jamie Collins would obviously be the best on this team. But Stephon Gilmore, man, let's not look at the fact. I mean, he had five total tackles, 1 assist, but that's not even the best part really. He had the only interception on the day, That's including both teams, and not only that, but he shut down one of the best receivers in the league, Amari Cooper. He didn't just shut him down. He shut him. He didn't. It wasn't like 2 receptions, 34 yards, or 1 reception, 22 yards, something like that. No, he shut him down. Clean out. 0-0. 0 receptions, 0 receiving yards. He had possibly his best game this season. Considering the opponent, considering the receiver that he had to go against, considering the end result, this is his best performance. This is his best performance. And if there was any question about him being the best corner in the league, let it in right now. He is the best corner in the National Football League. No competition. Hands down. Period. It's just a pleasure to watch this defense, perform each and every week. I know a lot of people had their doubts about this defense, especially looking at the Ravens' performance. A lot of people were saying that the Patriots got exposed on defense, and look, they're not. See, they go against a real opponent. They're not as good as everybody says they are. They go against a real quarterback. They're not as good as everybody says they are. But This was the number. Let's just keep it 100. This was the number one rated offense going up against the number one rated defense. But let's take it. Let's go back to that number one rated offense. So this wasn't just any old scrub. No, this wasn't just any old scrub quarterback or scrub running back or scrub O line or scrub receivers. No, this was the number one rated offense, the number one passer with guys like Amari Cooper, Randall Cobb, and Michael Gallup catching the ball. And they shut them down to only 9 points and completely shut out Amari Cooper. So let's give some respect to this defense. We got to understand the Ravens offense. I mean, they're kind of like an anomaly. You got Lamar Jackson, who you don't really know what to do with him because he can just do both things, running, scrambling, passing the ball just so well. So, I mean, they have like a game plan that's like nobody else's. Like their offense is completely different from anybody else that we see in the league. So the past results that you've seen, Philly and then going on to Dallas, this is more the norm. This is more the stuff that people were talking about throughout these other weeks where the Patriots were keeping them down, to these low scores. I mean, that's just the way it is. Um, Going into more of the special team side of this, Jake Bailey, he didn't have a great game. He didn't have like a horrible game. He had 6 overall punts. He only averaged 33.8, so not really that good. Had a net of 198. He had a long of 65 though, so hey, and he down 2 inside the 20, so not as spectacular as his performance last week, but considering the weather conditions, it's a pretty all right job. Um, Another special team shout out. We all know that Matthew Slater is the best special teamer in the National Football League. There's no debate about that. There's just so many great guys on this team. But Matthew Slater comes through with yet another spectacular special teams play. He blocks the punt, the only block punt in this game, setting up that N'Keal Harry touchdown. It's just, I mean, you can't get enough when you're talking about this defense and this special teams. They're I mean, it kind of pains me to say this. I don't want to diss the offense, but really, the defense and the special teams is pretty much the reason we're winning a lot of these games because they're putting us in really, really good positions to score points. First of all, if they're not scoring the points, then they're putting us in position to score the points. So, best defense, possibly best special teams also. So, give it up for them. Getting into the bad, not a lot of bad to talk about. Only really 3 things I wanted to touch on. One was the penalties. A lot of unnecessary penalties. Um, I believe Isaiah Wynn got hit with 2. So I mean, he doesn't really have too much playing time under his belt. He's still kind of fresh. This was his first game back since week 2. So he still has to get back into the groove of things and having to be matched up against somebody like Robert Quinn. Considering how he did, I mean, against a guy like that, not an easy matchup, but he took care of business. So the penalties, yes, we had a couple other unnecessary penalties, a few third down penalties where we could have easily just got them off the field, but you know those are just things that they have to clean up, going into next week. But yeah, that's my really only concern as far as the penalties go. Another one I like to touch on is Nick Folk. He was doing pretty good until this game. Once again, you can bring weather into it. But Nick Folk, he was. It just seemed like he's struggling with these long field goals. We seen what he can do when he only has to kick about like a 20-something yarder or a 30-something yarder. He made one 40-yarder. He had a long for a 44, but the other two, the 46 and the 48, he like completely missed those. It didn't even look like close. It didn't even look like he even had a chance of making it. So I don't know. Maybe it's the weather. Maybe it's just he's not that good. It's a reason why he hasn't. He's like just now getting back on the NFL team. So yeah, I mean let's just take that into account. Um, and the last thing I wanted to touch on were the drop passes. Again, weather can play a factor in this. What this that could be it. But uh, some of these catches you just got to make. I mean, if Tom Brady puts the ball in your hands, then you got to make these catches. The way the O line's been playing, you know, the teams that you're going against, you're gonna have so many opportunities to get some of these big splash plays that Tom Brady is going after. So if he puts the ball in a very very good spot, all you gotta do is just calm down with it. That's pretty much it. But other than that, that's pretty much it as far as the whole overall scope of the game went. Um, Slow day, defensive type matchup once again. Next week will be the Houston, Texas, Houston Texans. That will be the next matchup. It seems like as far as like quarterback play, excluding Lamar Jackson, it just seems to go up each week. You go from Carson Wentz to Dak Prescott. Now you're going to go up against Deshaun Watson, and then right after that you got Patrick Mahomes. So it just seems to be going up. But seeing as how they've been able to handle, certain other some of these other offenses, who's to say? We could be in for another low scoring game. Maybe not. Who's to say? But that'll be next week. I'll get into a lot more of that once I do the prediction video for that game. So stay tuned to that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really got nothing else to say. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave whatever you want in the comments. Any suggestions, whatever. I read them all. And I'm out.